Good morning, everybody. I'm your substitute president today. Walt's going to Colorado. Steve and I decided when he gets back we're going to drug test him. So. Anyway, Jonathan has our invocation.
I'm your substitute invocation person. Mike Slane was down in the basement last night, had a full finished basement that filled up with water. So, grateful to be here. Please bow your heads with me. Friends, life is short and we don't have much time to gladden the hearts of those who travel the way with us. So let us be swift to love, make haste to be kind, and go in peace to serve the Lord. Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now please join me in the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. Is it true? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
We have lots of guests. Christy's going to give our Sergeant at Arms report.
This morning we have 38 members in attendance. We have several guests with us. We have Rob Luciano from the downtown Rotary. And Guy, would you like to introduce Harold Haney and Tom Lassiter?
So these guys are, Tom is a longtime patient of mine. They're going to be doing some things at our meeting next week, so they've come to join us. If y'all have anything you want to say?
We'll just try to stay out of your way today and next week when we'll be setting up another video camera or two to tape the proceedings.
Yeah, we're all going to be stars next week. Thank you. That's it? Yep. So Rick, you have our birthdays and anniversaries. Is Rick here? Apparently not. So, anybody have a birthday or anniversary?
Yeah, I did last Friday.
What'd you have?
Birthday.
Keep going.
30. Am I still the youngest member?
There's another day.
No, Charlotte.
We don't introduce Charlotte as a guest anymore.
That's true.
We've got one younger than you, Chris. So, Billy, you have any? Is Billy here?
You're not doing too good.
We're at about 500 so far. So our next service project is street cleanup. I think we have about 12 people signed up, which is great. Everybody meets at World of Beer. I know Billy sent out an email, and it's a nice thing. We walk down the street picking up trash, making Greensboro a little prettier. Another quick announcement: our board meeting, our next board meeting, if anybody wants to get rid of that or needs to get rid of their red badge, it's August 13th.
Red badge, got board meeting.
So we also have another big event today. We're inducting a new member, so I'll ask Judge Hassel if he could come up. Exciting day. And Judy and Cheryl, you guys can come up.
I would first ask our sponsoring member, Judy, to introduce the new member to the group and tell them just a little bit about us.
This is my friend Cheryl Brandberg. We've known each other for a couple of years now, and I had met Cheryl through Junior Achievement. Cheryl likes to say that she is a mini farmer in the fact that they have 2 beehives behind their home. And how many chickens? 7 chickens. 7 chickens. Cheryl has 3 children. Her oldest son is getting ready to teach at Kaiser Middle School. He's a recent graduate of UNC and getting married in December. Her middle child is Emma, who goes to Clemson University, and her younger son is at Northern High School. And Cheryl is married to John, and John works at P&G, Procter & Gamble.
Very good. The Gate City Rotary was founded in 1991 under the auspices of our sponsoring club, Crescent Rotary here in Greensboro. And in those intervening 28 years, we have developed a reputation for service and commitment and sweat equity and fellowship. Cheryl, we welcome you to becoming a member of this wonderful organization, as you know, founded in 1905. And we welcome you not only for your strong arm and sturdy back that we will call upon you to bring about in connection in serving others here in the community and around the world, but also for the fellowship that you bring to us. And it's important at these occasions, which are always special to all of us as members, whether we've been in the club since then or just joined as you have recently, to keep in mind certain things as to what Rotary is and what is not. First of all, Rotary is not a political organization, and yet it offers the auspices and holds the highest standards with respect to good citizenship and the encouragement of allowing good men and women to seek and serve in public office. Rotary is not a religious organization, and yet it brings those internal precepts that imbue all of us with the values that are shaped and that we shape others hopefully to live by, including the values that initially and continue, we hope, to shape our country and this club. And Rotary is not a charitable organization, yet now we have a charitable arm with our foundation with the work that we do. And we are also, as we said, encouraged to philanthropic efforts as well as those of service. Well, what is Rotary? Rotary is an organization dedicated to the highest standards of promoting and interchanging the values of that service and ethics in the professions and vocations that we seek and walk in. And with that in mind, I would ask, as I deliver the following charge for all of us as members to stand. Cheryl, you are now welcomed and are entering into membership in the Gate City Rotary Club. We welcome you, as we said, for first and foremost, you will be an ambassador from your vocation and for what you bring with your life outside of this club and our events and activities that we sponsor. And we want to get to know you better and what you have been about and your own activities and service. And conversely, you are also an ambassador to that life and to those activities of what we in Rotary as a group and internationally we do around the corner and around the world. And with that in mind, we welcome you once again. We look forward to your service. We look forward to your sharing of fellowship and the life we forge for the betterment of our community and for our world. Welcome, Cheryl. You may be seated.
I heard the sound.
One last announcement before you are half dollars. We do still need a board for our golf tournament. Golf tournament is August 30th at Pine. Who all is playing in it? So I know Frank is. Does anybody remember the other? I think we had two others. David. Mike,
No.
what's your volunteer? Mike never
We're
volunteered.
just scratching your ear. We're just scratching your ear. I love
So,
I don't go to every tournament.
yeah, oh, okay, yeah. Mark has a quick announcement for members.
So, I just want to thank some people who stepped up last week. So we started our Discover Rotary events in a new format. We did it last week after the meeting. We're doing this in conjunction with Crescent Club and E-Club. I want to thank Mike for stepping up, Chip Person, Walt. So we all sort of jumped in and shared what Rotary's about. Our next event will be in August in conjunction with the Crescent Club. And I have to thank David too. David's actually printing up some cards for us. But I believe it's the 3rd week of August that'll be in conjunction. Any of you who have a guest or have a prospective member and you want to bring them along, they're welcome to come to the meeting and then stick around for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, just to ask a few questions and get to know a few things about the club. So we'll do that with Crescent. Then the 3rd one, the next month, will be done in conjunction with one of our 505s. And we're going to try to sync up with the E-Club because they have their meetings on Wednesday evenings. And they'll be kind of entertaining because we'll have to get online and have a remote meeting with some folks. So something a little different. But thanks you guys for helping out and keep those on your calendar for the future. Thanks.
Rotary is changing, and we're, a club for old men and their fathers, sometimes it's hard to accept change, but we're going to be changing with it. Some of this stuff's coming from Rotary International down, district down, so we're going to have a whole club talk about some changes that are coming. There's actually a new member summit that Mark is attending. I think Rob's going to go as well. So that stuff's going to be coming. It's going to be fun. It's going to be some opportunity. It'll be exciting, and we'll see what comes. So last thing here is Happy Dollars. I guess Grandpappy Lewis is going to do our Happy Dollars.
I do want to say this. Just a lot of people are new in the club, and one of the funny things about the trash pickup, now we do this stretch along Josephine, Boyd, Westover. But we actually had this original trash pickup, and it was basically in front of Walt Howell's house on Star Mountain. And it went along the golf course, and they put that sign up that said, Green Warriors, Kansas City Rotary. And someone wrote a letter to the editor ridiculing the club for picking up trash along Star Mountain. And it wasn't long after that they gave us a harder road. But that's just a great Rotary history. Damn.
Find this cash here somewhere. So, yeah, this is I'll give you 5. My son, Sean, is going to Belize to be a teacher. He just finished. I got my new shirt from him, NC State Engineering. He got his degree wrapped up in 3 years, and now he's launching on a missionary job for a year, teaching middle school math and PE in Belize, like on the western side, not on the fancy coastal resort side. So it ought to be really interesting to hear the stories and see the pictures coming through.
Buster, I just cannot believe somebody would go to the effort to write a letter to the editor complaining about a club picking up trash on Star Mountain. I would think anywhere you pick up trash, somebody would just applaud you. I hope that person's not in this room.
No.
But anyway,
I do know her though.
It was straight golf ball.
At any rate, I'm feeling really grateful for my veterinarian. Actually, it's my dog's veterinarian. I've got 2 dogs. He's not here again, Mike Andrus. Georgia Brown turns 14 on my birthday, and she's crossed me on the path. So Dixie, the boykin, is 7. And Mike has saved their lives about 9 times. Yeah. Yeah, he's a good vet.
Really? Oh my gosh, $6. Well, y'all seen the succession now. This is sort of written into the Constitution. If I ever become incapacitated, Bobby takes over, and then if Bobby becomes incapacitated, Dan takes over. So that's so. Grandpappy Lewis was on vacation, so as we asked Grandpappy Christiansen to fill in today.
Well, Grandpappy Christiansen's always been a little critical of me coming along, and as you know, a teenager and college student and fraternity and all that, trying to tell me how to live my life, and would always remind me of the perfect man. And he would tell me the perfect man gets up early every day. He exercises. He eats breakfast. He helps in the kitchen. He has a job. He eats lunch. He goes back to work. He's punctual. He never talks back. He eats supper. and he cleans up in the kitchen, and he goes to bed early, and he reads his Bible. And most of these men are found in prison.
I did notice he didn't mention shoes. So I'm kind of doing double duty today. I'm going to be introducing our speaker as well. So our speaker is Nat Bernstein. He's going to be talking about SCORE. Nat's a member at Star Mountain, so he knows a little bit about our trash pickup thing. So part of his speech is going to be his introduction of his past and how he got to be in SCORE. So I'll let Nat take over. Thank you.
So, if I understand, you know that the general manager of Star Mountain Country Club is here, and he's in the appropriate spot in the back of the room. But, well, no. You brought up the fact that trash needs to be picked up on Star Mountain Drive. Is that right?
Well, everywhere, but.
Could be some of the members.
Not trash, but trash.
Trash. Right date. Yesterday was the 31st of July. The 31st of July in 2014, I retired. And raise your hand if you're retired.
Motivating.
Don't you love it? It's fantastic. So I highly recommend that you should retire when you're healthy. I'd like to discuss 3 points today. Start out with the most important, no, start out with me so that you understand why I'm going to talk about what I'm talking about. I know nothing or very little about Rotary, so I'm going to talk a little bit about you, and I appreciated the fact that you discussed the value of Rotary. I'm very impressed. And then I want to discuss SCORE, and I'll explain what that is. And I've set some business cards around if SCORE is an important asset to the metropolitan area, to the entire Piedmont Triad. Actually, it's wherever it's located. And I highly recommend that if you're interested, talk to me. We need more members. We want more members. You probably know people who could benefit by using our services. So it's called a call for action. I'm looking for work. So anyway, here's where we go. This is me. I was born and raised in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That explains some of the way I talk. Wisconsin, you know. So anyway, so born and raised in Milwaukee. I graduated from the University of Denver. Why Denver? Because I was raised by a very contemporary woman. My mother said, "You're going into a family business, go away to college and have fun, because you're going to be stuck in this family business for the rest of your life." And I'm forever grateful because, well, I'll explain this later. So I graduated University of Denver 1968, and you can see from 1968 to 1973, there's a couple of years there before I opened my own mattress retail business, and that was when I worked in the family business. And, well, we'll just leave it at that. It was a very good experience, and the reason I'm speaking to you today is that had I not gone into the family business, I wouldn't have gone into my own business, and that's where I met Sealy Mattress Company. I was a retail consultant for Sealy Mattress from 1982 to 1989. I had people come in from all over the world to my stores to learn our techniques, to look at our displays, to understand our advertising, because quite honestly, mattresses are like toilet paper. I mean, you need one, but who really cares? So we tried to make a difference. We tried to make it an interesting experience, an easy experience, and we were successful, to the point of where Sealy came to me in 1982 and said, we'd like you to travel the country and work with retailers in North Carolina and South Carolina and anywhere in the continental United States. I liked it enough, and they liked me enough that they hired me full-time. And my wife and I moved to Cleveland, Ohio, and then Cleveland, Ohio was moved to Trinity, North Carolina, 1998. I retired and moved to Denver. Told you I went to the University of Denver. I loved every second of it. I love it here, but I really love Denver. I don't think I told you. My wife hated it. So I discovered that. She said, I said, would you like to move back to Greensboro? She said, I would love to, and that's why you're stuck listening to me for the next couple of minutes. When I was in Denver, I joined SCORE. And shortly after joining, I was there for about 6 months, I became co-chair of the group. We had 70 members. We have a smaller group here in Greensboro. Population, it's appropriate for our population here versus there. Returned to Greensboro in 2017 and joined the SCORE chapter here and became the chapter chair in 2018. Being a member of SCORE is a very worthwhile experience because we interact with human beings and we help them either work to make their dream come true in going into business, or we help them avoid losing their savings by doing something silly. So even though we're really charged with helping to generate more business, we also feel a duty to help people if they have a kind of a silly or a stupid idea, to not lose their hard-earned money. We try to give them direction. So that's who I am. Now this is who I think you are, and I think this is really interesting. This is according to Wikipedia. Is that a decent resource? Okay. Rotary International is an international service organization. Service organization's stated purpose is to bring together business and professional leaders in order to provide humanitarian service and to advance goodwill and peace around the world. This current statistics show 1.2 million members, over 35,000 clubs worldwide. If I had a hat, I would take it off to you. You should be very proud of being associated with this type of an organization because you hit all of the value buttons that you should be proud of. Does that make sense? No. So let's talk about SCORE. SCORE is an acronym. It stands for the Service Corps of Retired Executives. Because of that, we are very homogenized. We have, all of us sort of look like me, and we're trying to break that. We're desperately looking for diversity. So we locally have changed the acronym to the Service Corps of Resourceful Executives. What makes us different than and you can get mentoring all over the place. There are so many organizations. I don't know, do you offer mentoring? You do. So, I mean, the competition is steep. What makes us different is that we use real life experiences to share with the individuals that we're talking to. We have that experience. It's sort of been there, done that, don't do that, or been there, done that, do that. So that's really who we are. We were founded in 1964 by the DuPont Corporation in Delaware. Requires DuPont family members to leave the business at age 60, for the purpose of allowing other non-family members to float up into higher executive levels. So this particular heir left the company and came up with the concept of SCORE. As luck would have it, he had a friend that worked in the SBA, Small Business Administration. He sold them on this concept, and the SBA took it over and said, this is great. And that's really, we're a very minor subsidiary of the Small Business Administration. Today we have over 350 chapters. I'm talking about in the United States. I think we actually have 370. We have over 11,000 mentors and absolutely have mentored thousands and millions of people since 1964. Our local chapter currently has 37 mentors. We service around 430 clients, but over 400 clients a year. Our service areas: Greensboro, Winston-Salem, High Point, Burlington. We do get into Rockingham County and down to Asheboro. And our Greensboro offices are located in the Nussbaum Center. I invite all of you to come down. I'd be happy to take you on a tour. The Nussbaum Center is a center for entrepreneurship, and we feel that it's the proper environment for us to function as we do. It's on South Elm Eugene Street. Our mission is to foster small business throughout the communities where we live. Let me give you an idea of what our client is like. The majority are women. A lot of them are minorities, and some of them probably work in this building. But they have a dream, and that dream is to own their own little business. It can be healthcare, going into an elderly person's home and helping them for an hour or two a day. It could be a cleaning business. It could be a baking business. It's a variety of things. But in most instances, they're not super complicated. To be honest, we don't get people who want to become a dentist and they're looking for direction. We don't get people who are brain surgeons. We get people who are, they're kind of going no place quickly, and they have a dream. And again, our goal is to try to help make that dream come true. Every person has the support necessary to thrive as a small business owner if they're given direction. The number of people that we see who don't have a plan, this is like, raise your hand if you've ever taken a road trip where you drove. Would you use a GPS or get a map?
What's a map?
What's that?
What's a map?
What's a map? And you're 30 years old. I remember 30 years old. So,
Just made 30.
can I bring this down? Can I use this head to ring the...
Meeting's not over yet.
Meeting's not over yet. A lot of people don't know what a map is. A lot of young or aspiring business people don't understand they need a business plan. So they're the people that would get in the car and say, I'm driving to Montgomery, Alabama, and just say, well, I know it's south of here, and I think it's, isn't it, if you go south, it's a little to the what? That's not how we go places. But to be perfectly honest, some people go into business that way. And you probably know people who have not done well in their own life. So our goal is to try to help them avoid making an error. And it's because we believe all of our clients, whether I may joke about them or not, they're all important. They matter. Small businesses matter. There are more small businesses employing human beings in this country than big businesses. We drive past them every day and just don't realize it. Giving back to the community matters. Volunteering matters. I honestly, I always worked for a paycheck. Most people do. Volunteering is way more appealing to me. It makes you feel good. My personal experiences, your personal experiences matter. They make a difference. Relationships matter. You become good acquaintances of the people that you volunteer with, and our goals and objectives are to help our clients be successful. Diversity matters. This is the one thing that we are very weak in. Well, in our group, because we tend to be birds of a feather. And the people that I know tend to look like me. And they're Caucasian male. And we need diversity. We need more women. We need Asian Americans. We need Hispanic Americans. We need people of all different types of people, and we're working on that. And lifelong learning experiences matter. Business experiences that I had matter, but also helping my next door neighbor out matters. What we really do is we coach people into taking their idea or dream and to start their own little business. Before I forget, I need to mention something because I think it's kind of exciting. Is there anyone in the room affiliated with Elon Law School? Okay. Elon Law School is located in downtown Greensboro, and probably the people in this room wouldn't qualify for the service they offer, but for lower income people, they offer mentoring for free. You go to the law, and it's open when they're in school. So if they're closed for Easter vacation, it's closed. If they're closed for summer vacation, it's closed. But it's open like September through May. And we send people there. They will do everything needed to help, like with not with business plans. We help with the business plans, but they help with the legalese stuff. They will actually help incorporate. They'll recommend that based on what it is that you're trying to do, they'll make certain recommendations. Now, if I have to go to the city of Greensboro and pay $100 for a fee, that you have to pay for. But they do all of the busy work. And I say this with pride because who knew? They don't advertise that. And they're helping thousands of people who need help every year. And I appreciate that, and I hope you do too. Those with whom we work all want to get into business. I mentioned to someone outside earlier that a lady came in and she worked in the healthcare industry and she wanted to go in the cookie business. Why? Because everyone says you make the best chocolate chip. So, of course, she wants to go in the chocolate chip cookie business. And I said to her, how much would you sell a dozen cookies for? That was just because I like chocolate chip cookies and I want to know. She says, $2.50. I said, well, what would it cost you to make that dozen cookies? And she thought for a minute and she said, $2.50. So we had to sort of explain to her, you can't spend $2.50, sell $2.50, and expect to put food on your table. Now, I'm not making fun of her. I'm giving you a real example of what happens. People get in their mind that they can do something, and they just need a little direction. And that's what we try to do. We're a friend when they need it. But we do encourage every single business person to start with a business plan. It's the roadmap to their success. Okay, so, how are we doing? Okay. The process begins with a business plan, clearly stating the goals and objectives of the business. I just got a text from a young man who works at Cone Health. He wants to go into the online men's fashion business. And can I tell you, I so much want to say to him, sir, please don't do that. Please, don't do that. But that's not part, I mean, we sign a code of ethics. That's not for us to decide. He texted me, he said, I'm done with my first draft of the business plan. When can we meet to go over it? And it's then, when we talk through the business plan, that we're going to be able to get him to, right now, if this is perfect focus, he's like this. And we need to bring him into focus so that he doesn't make a foolish mistake. Plan should include existing competition. I made my living working in an incredibly competitive environment. Most every one of you is in a competitive, Mark, are you in a competitive environment?
Yes.
Very competitive environment. We're all in a competitive environment, and so many of these people who are starting up are clueless as to how many other people are currently doing what they want to do. So part of the research is to come back the next time with a list of every single business that's doing what you want to do. A proper business structure, that's where we get, are you a subchapter S? Are you going to be an LLC? What is it that, how are you going to structure your business? And that's really where Elon University comes in. Be registered with state and local governments, Elon. Have business names properly registered. Have any of you registered a name? Have you? It's very interesting how, are you able to register it just in the state of North Carolina, Mark? Do you know?
Yes.
I'm not sure, okay.
Yes.
It's very interesting how names, you need to register names. Again, Elon can help. Understand tax consequences, because hopefully you're going to make a lot of money and you're going to have to pay tax. And then get the proper licenses and permits. Now, this last point is not meant to be cute, but about 40% of our clients keep their day jobs. Those are the ones where we've said, you know what, maybe the chocolate chip cookie idea should remain an idea. Continue to make great chocolate chip cookies, but keep your day job. It's very important, and we think that that's, we're doing them a service. Any questions? Yes, sir.
I don't have a question, but I used SCORE when I first came to Greensboro to start my business to write an appropriate business plan, and it was very helpful.
Great. What type of business?
Architect.
Wonderful. Yes.
71, I'm still doing it.
Really? 73, and I'm not doing it.
One of our club members, Jim Kennedy, introduced us to the Forge, and I joined in 2015 and stayed for a little while, and then they moved to a new location. And then I joined again, and I noticed a lot of people, I'm sure you're familiar with it. It's like right across down the street from the Nussbaum Center. Have you ever visited that?
I have.
There's a lot of people that can probably use SCORE if you want to drop some
What is
literature.
it called?
The Forge.
Okay. I'll tell you.
It's a center for entrepreneurship and invention.
Creative space.
Small.
Oh, it's where, I think I've seen something recently where they have the equipment and you go in and use their equipment.
Yeah, you're a member, it's going to join.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
I'd just like to make a comment.
Sure.
As I mentioned before the meeting, I did this kind of lending for self-help for a time. And I came to the conclusion that the first line in the physician's Hippocratic Oath was the most important. First, do no harm. People come to you with all kinds of ideas that just make absolutely no sense.
Right.
Now, I had an advantage over you. I can ask them 8 questions, and depending on the answers, I can suggest a course of action that doesn't include me working with them on a loan. So it's a little different, but if you can keep somebody from making a serious mistake, you have done a good day's work.
Right. Right. I know that sounds silly, but you're absolutely correct. Yes.
So, along those lines, you didn't talk a whole lot about financing, but I know with an affiliation with SBA, what's the path to financing? Do you help people with that? If they need loans, if they need some money?
We help direct them. At the Nussbaum Center is a source of funding for up to about $25,000. It's a nonprofit lending. It's minority run, and if they are unable to help the person, they will recommend what they should do. So yes, we do. Funding is really a very serious thing, but it should be done by professionals. And though I'm a professional, lending is not my area.
I just know a lot of people end up borrowing money from Aunt Sally, and, you know, sometimes these end up in family rifts because they can't pay it back.
Right.
And so,
Used
you
to
know,
say it
that's
would make Thanksgiving dinner really difficult.
yeah, so it's a big part of.
More so
this-
than usual.
Yeah, it's a big part of business startups.
Yeah, yeah. The financing is a huge issue.
Nat, how much do you get into the reasons that have influenced so-and-so to start a business? The things that have informed their desire to, whatever it is?
A lot. That's a very good question. We spend a lot of time asking why. And the best score mentors are good listeners. I think that the typical reason that people want to do it is because they're in a dead-end job and they know it. They're smart enough to say, I'm a cleaner at the O. Henry Hotel, and I'm tired of it. I'm better than this. I can do more than this. And yet, going to you and asking for a job, going to you and asking for a job hasn't worked. So a lot of times that will prompt someone to try to do it on their own. Again, we have a high percentage of people who keep their day jobs because I think we've helped them, hopefully, them come to their own realization and not are saying, Tony, what are you, an idiot? Don't do that. That's, hopefully we don't do that. Well, yes.
Nat, how often do you meet with somebody, a prospective, someone that wants to meet with you? Over what duration do you coach them?
It's pretty short. There's someone that owns a magazine in the Triad who I've met with 3 times over a 3-week period. This young man that just contacted me who works at Cone Health. This will be like the 5th or 6th time, and I think that, but typically they're one and done. Yeah, I would say that 80% are one and done. Any other questions?
All right, we have one last thing to do here. One more second. So I think this definitely fits in with the values of Rotary. You know, we're bringing like-minded business people together. He's trying to create them. Very, very good. Thank you. Yeah. So we have a raffle here. I'll have to read the last 3 numbers.
Oh, sure. 671.
All right.
The pack's about half empty, guys. So start buying some tickets.
Let's see what we got.
Show us how, Danny. Show us how, Danny.
Not again.
I don't shuffle.
Ace of clubs.
Oh.
It's good in poker. Who said Rotary wins again?